Hi everyone. Hi Mom. I was working on my book and realized that it's been a really long time since I've done a tips, tricks, and tools episode. And this was part of the what I'm going to put in my book. And as I did one, I thought, gee, that would be a good episode, I think. At least I hope you think so. What I have here is a die cut from the Tim Holtz Biggs collection, and it's called Ornate Frame. And as you can see, it has a lot of holes in it. I never like to see a white core. Sorry, I still have a little bit of my cold hanging on here. So to ink this, yeah, you can imagine it's a little difficult. So I've come up with a way, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who do it this way, but I thought for the new people who are just starting out that perhaps you might find this useful. What I do to get this, because as you can see, this one you can't see any white core in there. And I didn't want to muck up the front of it. I like the lighter version of this one. So what I do is I turn it over. I've had to change my pad on my tool. Now this is called a blending tool for those of you who don't know. You don't need a ton of them. One is sufficient because these come off. So if you don't mind switching them out for different inks, I always have one that's dedicated to just a archival ink, or in other words, a dye ink. This one's acid-free, permanent, and waterproof. So if you see that on your ink pad, you know that that's not going to be water reactive. So it's not a blending ink per se. However, I use a blending tool for it. So what you want to do is really, sorry, that's going to wiggle and YouTube's going to say, hey, you got a shaky video. Do you want to fix it? And I'm going to say, no, thank you. Okay, make sure you get enough ink on that. And then in a circular motion, and I hold it down here, not by the handle, I get better control. You're going to go over the top of it and just wiggle it right into the holes. Now be careful. If you're doing this on paper, you're probably going to tear it. My suggestion for things like this is a lightweight cardstock. This comes from this pack, romance novel. And it's, I don't even know if it tells you what the weight is on this. Probably not. But it's not 60 pound for sure. But it's definitely thicker than paper. So you're going to do this all the way around in a circular motion. So you can see I'm not doing this because I take the chance of bending or ripping. You're going in small circular motions. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Let's telephoto that in a little bit, shall we? There we go. Okay. I got junk all over my, well, it's not junk, but stuff on my desk because I am in the middle of a new book that I hope to have finished and posted this weekend. Today's Thursday, and we have a beautiful sunny day in Surrey, British Columbia. Okay, that's a piece of paper that shouldn't be there. Let's get rid of that. And you notice that I have a piece of scrap that I'm doing this on. Yes, I have a craft mat, but when it comes to the dye inks, it doesn't come off as easily off your craft mat as the other Tim Holtz, like the distress inks that are water reactive, or any ink that's water reactive. Okay, and then I'm going to just go around like this on the inside. It's also a great technique for other things that, some people might not like the really inked up edges. I did a class one time where one woman really didn't like the look of it. So this is one way to clear up your core without, giving you that sort of distressed look that some people just really don't like. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got their own thing, right? And like I said, you want to be gentle with it. Okay. So, now you can see, I hope, that there's no white core showing. So it's covered it without muddying the front up at all. Now, you know, if you like that look, this is another suggestion. When I do smaller items like this, I'll go from the bottom up. So your blending tool isn't over this way, because then you're going to end up with it maybe in spots that you didn't want. So go underneath it, and you get that nice sort of grungy look without making it look super dirty. Okay, so there you go. There's my ink. Now what I want to show you is how I get that really cool look with the embossing enamel, which is this stuff. Stampendous. I get mine at Joann's. And I'm going to use this one, which is your embossing ink from Rangers, and it's distress in that it's not, I don't know how I describe it, but it's holier, the pad itself, than your regular like Versamark. Whereas when you put this, the Versamark on something, you get like a full coverage. With this one, you don't. And so if you're not looking for that, then don't use this one. But I don't want a lot on there, so I'm using a really old little piece of seafoam sponge. And what I do with it is dab it on my pad. Sorry, let's do that. Dab it on my pad, and then I just kind of randomly push it down in spots. Some will be heavier than others, but I don't want to cover the entire thing with my enamel. And again, I'm doing it on a piece of scrap paper. And you'll see where it is. It's wet. You probably can't see it on camera, but I can see where it didn't go and where it did go. My pad's getting quite low too, so you probably, a new pad, you wouldn't need to do that many times. Okay, get that out of the way. And then, because this has sticky stuff on it, I'm going to flip it over. It's got dried glue on this. And then I'm going to sprinkle and get low. If you go high, you're going to go whoosh, and it's going to go all over your desk. So get low, and you want it heavy for the weight. Okay, so the weight's going to push it down into the glue. And then I'm going to take my tweezers. These ones have a rubber grip so that the heat doesn't transfer to my fingers. And I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to gently do this. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to bang it because I really don't want a lot on there. And I have a feeling it's got more than I want. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's going to look nice. Now, if you had more than you wanted, just take your thing and scrape it off. Now, I'm going to get rid of this first. Okay, set that aside. Okie doke. So now, the craft mat takes heat. So I can heat it right on my craft mat. And instead of picking it up, I'm going to hold it down like this so it doesn't fly around. Now, frontage is much heavier than embossing powder. And because of that, it does tend to want to fly off. So you need to be careful. This, I am going to use my embossing gun. Normally I would start with this one. Actually, maybe I'll do that. So this is the Tim Holtz one. And it's not as powerful. It's hot. It gets hot, but it doesn't blow as hard as an embossing gun does. And you can tell it's not as noisy either. So I start up a little bit on the high side. So my elbow's sitting on the table, and that's how high I've got mine up. And I'm just going to get it started It might be hard for you to see that. How about we telephoto some more? Just remind me, you guys, that I've got you telephotoed, okay? Just give a yell and I'll remember. So at this point, I'm not moving it around. I have it in one spot. And when I see that it's, starting to change, I will move it to another spot. Once it starts to change, you can get it down lower. That'll get your heat closer and it won't blow the rest off. Okay, so here we go. If I wanted to be fast, I'd switch over to my other gun and get it melted in lickety-split time. There you go. So as you can see, it's thicker, or you will in a second. The other thing I need to tell you is embossing enamel stays hot longer. And so you want to be careful not to just, put your hands on it right away and pick it up. So I'm going to widen out a little bit again, and I will pick it up and show you. Okay, so there you go. You can see it's not covered everything. And I get sort of a nice, almost like an antique look to it. Now, if you're using, say you're using a pattern paper that you're not, thrilled about the color even, you can go ahead and do this. And then once it's cool and dry, you can take your archival ink and ink right over top. It won't stick to this part. It'll stick more to the paper, but it will make it aged looking. Just another idea for you to go ahead and play. But this won't move, because it is archival ink, so it's not going to move. And there you go. There's your frame. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys, and I really hope I can get that video up for you this weekend. I'm really loving the way it's turning out. Should I give you a sneak peek? Yeah, I will. Okay, there's the cover. Let's widen out. There's the cover. Really love the way this cover turned out. So anyway, watch for the video this weekend, I hope. Talk to you soon. Bye.